My internet is. Welcome to the Keep the Faith podcast. I am your host, Tori. It is a beautiful Sunday, and I hear that I've been told that there's supposed to be a tornado or something coming. So we're not gonna be on here too long. But I have the pleasure and the honor to have Miss Denise Flipping Stewart on the podcast today, and I'm super excited. Now, Denise, before we get into the subject at hand, tell us a little bit about yourself. Those that don't know, now, if you haven't been at any of the events that Denise has hosted, oh my God, you have missed out. But I'm pretty sure she has some more things up and coming. But tell everybody just a little bit about yourself.
Hey, you all. My name is Denise Flippin Stewart. I am from Buffalo, New York, born and raised, and just relocated here to Florence, South Carolina. I got here in April of 2024, and it has been a pleasure. I am a wife, 1 year married, and I have four amazing children and a pit bull that does not so much get on my nerves, but he's here too.
Now, we don't discuss about, tell us about, because we actually discuss cave, right?
Yeah, we could whatever it is that so I wanted to share the happiness with Cave, and just give a little backstory of even how I got into this position with Cave and where Cave is going.
Okay, go ahead. The floor is yours.
Okay, so I got here in April of 2004, and I lived out of my car. I just came because God said go to Florence, and I was like, "What is a Florence?" Did never heard of a Florence before in my life. I surrendered my life to God in like 2015, and since then, child, it has been this journey of letting go and laying a hold of the new. And God never disappoints. He never surprise. Well, He always surprised me. Never disappoints. Um, and so I got here and I was living out my car at the time. It was my then, we were dating, my husband and we were living out of the vehicle, and God told me to get a office space. So I went and I got this office space, and I met Miss Kimberly Wilson. So Miss Kimberly Wilson is the founder of Cave. And her and I had some conversations about just like our passion as it relates to the youth. Cave had been active for about 5 years at this time, and they had been doing like Christmas parties and back to school things more in the rural areas, not really in Florence. A lot of the things coming directly out of her pocket. And it had been 5 years, and she was tired. Her and her counterparts. And so when we were talking, she said, "I think you my next president." She said, "You got some things, some passion about you. I think you my next president." And so I wasn't sure if I wanted to do it. Again, I had just got to Florence, hadn't found any work yet, didn't even have a house yet, any of those things. But God is faithful. God reassured me that Cave was the space to be. And so I jumped in January of 2025. During that time, that year, I just took some time to really understand the nonprofit world. Now, I stand on the scripture of what you do for the least of those is what you do for me, is what we do for God. How we take care of our community, how we take care of our youth, how we take care of the elderly. When I was hungry, you fed me. When I was naked, you clothed me. When I was in prison, you visit me. I really believe that is our mandate as Christians or people of faith to take care of our community. And it takes a village to surround a child and provide them the support that they need. However, having a nonprofit is not for the weak. It is costly. It is
Mhm.
costly in time. It is costly in finances. And baby, again, I came here, I ain't have nothing. And so, just really understanding the nonprofit sector and how to leverage your 501(c)(3) status in order to provide for the community was really, 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 really important for me. And so, I took last year to really uncover how to leverage the our status. Um, I had a board, but my board wasn't really active. Kimberly introduced me to Rebecca Jackson, and I promise you, when I got introduced to Rebecca Jackson of PD Black Expo, baby, things start taking off in a different direction. Now, if y'all know Rebecca, now y'all know. You know, she out here. She out here in these streets. And so she connected me, introduced me to a lot of people. We have vamped up our board of directors. Uh, my heart posture as it relates to the community and especially 501(c)(3)s is connecting with businesses and organizations that's in the area to make sure that when we're taking care of a community, that is not just the youth, that is not just the elderly, but taking care of the community mean the businesses that's in the community, the organizations that's in the community, the schools, the children, our college students. Taking care of a community means partnering with all the different elements that make up that community so that we're making a huge impact in that area. So that's my heart posture as it relates to Cave. And it's paying off. We got some stuff happening May 29th. We're having a huge event called the Play and Play Initiative. And the Play and Play Initiative will be launching May 29th. And what it is we're taking feeding these students, feeding our kids, and then playing with them to engage them in social, emotional learning and gaming and activities, and just really building a relationship with our youth so that we can encourage them, inspire them, and pour into them.
So if it's coming up in May, we definitely got to have you back before then, so we can promote it because we're talking about it's March, so we got plenty of time reiterate that as the date gets closer. Because
Yes.
I want you guys to save the date. You say it's May 29th, and we definitely going to showcase that again as we get closer to the date. And
Mhm.
now, listen, I know you got to tell everybody what else you do as well, because you also do counsel, right?
So I do. So I am a faith care coach to my core. And I did want to tap into that a little bit, but wanted to highlight that with Cave. One more thing with Cave is that we are having our 100 link campaign right now. So we're looking for 100 community members to join our link by just donating $30. $30 will take us a long way. We're looking for 100 community members to donate $30 so that we can make sure that this event in May 29th is like over the top. So I did want to throw that in there really quickly before we talk about.
Listen, it's elaborate on that just a little bit more about the $30. So if it's is it a one-time $30, or and what all does that entail for the community members? Because I want to, because if I invest, I want to know what I got to do, because I work too. So I'm trying to see if I have the time to do what you may need me to do. So elaborate on more with that if you become a community member.
Okay. So our 100 link campaign is we're asking for a $30 donation. And so we're going to run different campaigns at different times, but right now we will love it if our community members signed up to donate $30 a month. Right now, the Plate and Play initiative will be taking place in North Florence every month during the summer. During the school year, it is our goal to be out there every Wednesday to give the kids a meal and to play with them and tap into how their school week is going. So we have Miss Cupcake, a piece of cake entertainment, who will be leading our social emotional learning. And so we'll be tapping in. How was your school week? Is this teacher getting on your nerves? And what is going on with this student? So that we can pour into them in ways that will help them navigate the complexities of the school day. So in the summer we're coming out big style. We are talking about live band, DJ, carnival style games, relay races, um, we having two tents. Educator Corner is going to be there. Journey Soap Bar is going to be there, helping parents to understand, when you go through the acne phases with your children, or eczema and allergies, just helping to give some tips and things like that to the parents. And then parents can come bring their concerns to Educators Corner about struggles that they are having as it relates to the school, because we want their voices to be heard so that we can actively work together with the school system to provide solutions to things that parents are experiencing in the school system. So we want to make sure that our hands is in there. So our $30 campaign is that we're looking for 100 people to donate $30, which will give us about $3,000 to make sure that we have the prizes and the games and all of those things to set up. We're doing the food for May 29th. We are connecting with Mr. Devin Long. Pastor Devin Long, to help us to get the food that is going to be given to the students. But games, activities, all of these things cost us a great deal. And we want to make sure that we do it big for these kids, and not just for the month of May, but also in June, July. June, Dash and Dogs has said that they will sponsor the meals for our youth in June. But we got July and August as well that we want to do it big. So if we could get our community members to do a reoccurring $30 a month, that will be ideal. But even if you can't make a commitment to $30 a month, if you give $30 for this one event, will be thrilled. Part of us coming out May 29th, and we're going to do ribbon cutting ceremony as we get connected to the Chamber of Commerce, but allowing the businesses that's in the area to see that this is something that we're not playing. This is really about impact. This isn't for show. This is for change. And we decided to go with North Florence because there's a lot of revitalization that is happening in North Florence. And so we want to make sure that while the city is doing the structure and infrastructure, that we are pouring into the people in that community. So we want to make a major impact. And so that 100 Link campaign is to just ensure that we have all the things that we need, background checks on those who are working with the students, training for those who are working with the students so that they know how to pour into them effectively, and that we have games and prizes that the students will continue to want to return to us.
Oh man, that's awesome. You definitely got to come back before May. You definitely got that. Oh my God. And was there like is there a certain time of day that you guys are doing this? Like, um, what's the time frame on May 29th that you guys are doing this event?
So the event on May 29th is going to be from noon until 4:30.
Okay, noon to 4:30. Okay.
Yes. And
All
our
right. Because
100
I
Link
was trying to
campaign is
see
on
if
our
it what
page.
day
It's a Friday.
okay. And matter of fact, tell us the platforms where we can get in contact if we want to learn, more information about it. Like can we find the information? The Cave page, does it
Yes.
have a Cave Facebook
Yes.
page?
So Cave has a Facebook page. On our Facebook page, you will find several ways to donate. We are constantly pushing the link. You can also check out our website at www.enterthecave.org. So that's www.enter, cave, cave.org.
Okay. And definitely what I want you to do once we are done with the live, make sure you put, or even you can do it now if you can, put the link in the comments so people can see it, but you can also do that later as well. And
Yes, ma'am.
we actually gonna come back to Kay, but I also want you to talk about what you have as far as counseling as well, because I think you do an amazing job being a Christian counselor as well. So talk
Child,
about that too. Listen, I will put you out there.
I see. So, oh God is so good. God is so good. God is so faithful. One of my founding scriptures is Revelation 12:11. It says, they overcame by the blood of the Lamb. That is what God has done for us, and the word of our testimonies. And that is what we do for one another. And I stand 10 toes down on that. That is my heart of service as it relates to how I pour into people. So, I'm a faith care coach. And so what I do is I help people, I help women particularly navigate through the complexities of life by faith. I'm thinking of a scripture right now. Girl, you about to get me preaching. My spirit is getting excited. But I'm thinking of a scripture right now that talks about Jesus. It says, it was for the joy that was set before him that he was able to endure the cross, right? And so faith is that substance that helps us to hold on to the joy that God has shown us. And so sometimes when we're navigating through complex situations and circumstances, we need a reminder of who we are. Sometimes we need someone to just be a listening ear and to just release. But then a lot of times we need that reminder of who we are, so that we can hang on. And I'll just share a little bit about me, how I came into my relationship with God. I grew up in the church. My mom was a prophetess, Reddick, prophetess. But she very religious community. I will tell you a lot of times when I speak about my life, I say religion birthed me, but rejection raised me. My mom had me when she was just 16 years old, 15 years old. And that's not what she wanted. That's not what she wanted. However, being in a religious family, abortion is not an option. And so she had to carry through with her pregnancy and raising me. But the lack of love and attention caused a lot of damage. It caused a lot of damage, to the point that I had some severe issues with rejection. I had the fear of rejection that was bad, and it caused me to do two things. One, people please, which we know we want everybody to like us, and then the other part was I became violent. I was a little gangster, y'all. I was a little gangster. I fought you if I thought that you felt the kind of way. Don't even look at me like there was a problem, because we gonna get it popping. A lot of people who know me today don't believe I was who I was. Denise the Beast is what they used to call me. Denise the Beast. I'm out here. Like, I'm don't even look like there was a problem. If my family had an issue, I was the one that they called. And I had a crew that was behind me that was, yeah, yeah, we move. When I move, you move, just like that, right? So, and I know a lot of it was due to pain. I remember I told my sister recently, somebody did something to me out in the Walmart parking lot. And it was in a car. I said, girl, I was ready to get out that car. She said, girl, you was gonna get beat up. She was like, back in the day, you could fight because you had a lot of anger and a lot of pent up rage and frustration. Today, you love God and stuff. You all peaceful and happy. They was gonna tear your tail up today. You ain't who you used to be. And so rejection and that fear of rejection and wanting to be accepted and wanting to be loved caused me to be very angry. I did not like to feel hurt. I did not like to feel pain. It was easier to be angry. And so I acted in anger all the time. And so I navigated my life through that lens of fear of rejection. It caused me to stay in relationships that were not beneficial to me or my partner. Me and my kid's father met when I was like 13, and we started dating when I was 17, and we had been together for 13 years. I was not happy. We had been together 13 years when we split up. I was not happy. But we had four children, and so this was the life. And I remember being in the shower, and I was just singing, because I sang, y'all. I was singing, speak to my heart, Holy Spirit, give me the words that will bring new life. And God spoke. He said, walk away from your relationship. And that just didn't seem feasible. It didn't seem feasible, because here I go back to being alone. Like, this man accepts me, flaws and all. It is what it is. I couldn't imagine being alone. And so I left God in the shower, get out and do my thing. And I back to business as usual, get back in the shower. Give me a holy word. If I can hear from you, then I know what to do. Leave your relationship. No. God, you're gonna stay right here and back to business as usual. And this continued to happen for a little while. And I don't even know how I recognized that it was the voice of God, but I did know that it was him. And I would start telling God, okay, I'm gonna do it today. I'm gonna do it today. And every day it got harder and harder. And I would say, God, he's so sweet. Look at him. He just came and gave me hugs and kisses before I left. Like I can't. And the weight of my life was so heavy that I navigated through a lot of depression and I tried to kill myself. So
Mm.
I'll never forget that day. I took a bunch of pills and I began to throw up. I went on my front porch and took the pills. My oldest daughter was home and Talina had just been born and she was about 1. And I went outside and I took the pills, but I'm not a pill taker, y'all. So I started throwing up, not because of the toxins in my body, but because I can't swallow these dang on things. They wasn't going down and I'm gagging. And so now I'm throwing up. I come back in the house. I'm sitting on my dining room floor. I'm crying. I'm throwing up. I'm crying. I'm throwing up. And my kid's father coming. He looking at me like, what is going on? And my 13-year-old coming. She's sitting next to me. And now she's crying and calling my mother to tell my mother. And I'm acting like she crazy. Mom, I don't know what they talking about. But God spoke to me and he said, are you done? And I said, God, I am done. I can't do this no more. He said, good. Now I can live through you. And that moment changed my life drastically. And a lot of people think that when you surrender your life to Christ, that you go on this uphill battle. No, I went to hell. Literally. Literally. It was the worst experiences of my life. First of all, God called me to give away my car, my house, to walk away from nursing. He said, I did not call you to be a nurse. He calls me Minister Denise. That is something I don't want to hear because I don't like religion and the titles and I don't do none of that. I don't subscribe to any of it. So when God says Minister Denise and he's calling me, telling me that I'm about to do street ministry and then the pulpit, all of this stuff sounds like no. It sounds like no. Because I know how the church treated me. And I know what the pain that the church has caused me. And so I went through this process where God was tearing down all of the ideologies that I had, where He was exposing my hurts, He was exposing my pains. He wasn't allowing me to transition my pain into anger. I had to deal with it for what it was. I couldn't have a drink to numb anything that I was navigating through. God was calling me to go head to head with my past and with my even current situations and circumstances. I walked away from the relationship. All of those things that God called me to let go, I let go of. And then I went into a church that really taught me about God's love for me. Shout out to Renovation in Buffalo, New York. I learned about love, but I also was hurt. And you want to automatically take that hurt and say, you see, God, I went to the church, I gave it a chance, and I'm done. But what I begin to understand is that we're people, we're human, in the church, out of the church, wherever we are people, and people hurt me. And so I never put the weight of people hurting me on God. I always recognize that we as people, even myself, cause pain to people. I've hurt people. And so I built some good relationships and I built some relationships that were not so good. But I had one particular person in part of our church group who gave me a hard time. She gave me a hard time. And so I was supposed to serve on the board for one of our healthcare organizations, Jericho Road, back home. And she went to them and she lied and said all of these things about me. And I was confused as to what happened. So when I saw her again, she said, let's go to lunch. I said, girl, we don't do that. I'm very blunt. Okay. If this a problem, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna say, hey, yo, this just ain't what it is. So we were at another church doing some things at another church. She said, hey, girl, let's get together and do lunch. And I said, we don't do that. And she said, but I've been knowing you before this. And I said, yeah. And you don't remember? You don't remember? No. Well, we don't do that. We do the church business. That's it. What we got to do for Journey, we'll do for Journey. Anything else, we ain't doing that. And so God said, go talk to her. And so I went and I talked to her. And when we sat and talked and we had a real conversation, I brought up all the things. She said, she acknowledged all of it. And she said, the truth of the matter is, you're so young and so on fire for God. I have never seen someone your age operate in the capacity in which you do. And she said, and I wish I had flipping faith. And that just, it changed everything. We became real cool after that. When I moved out of Buffalo, she threw my going away party, all of that. But when God started calling me into ministry, he showed me flipping faith. Flipping faith
Wow.
services and how we pour into one another. And it's not about understanding that she's human. She has her flaws and she has her insecurities. I am human. I have my flaws and I have my insecurities. I will not always do things the right way, but we are
Mhm.
called to share life with one another. It is not good for man to live alone, right? And so that doesn't mean that it's going to be just peaches and
Mhm.
cream. It doesn't mean that it's going to be beautiful. Conflict is actually necessary. It actually helps shape and develop us. It helps build us. It helps to build character. And so Flipping Faith Services, I know I just said a whole lot to get to this, but Flipping Faith Services was birthed out of that rejection, out of that fear, out of that anger, out of that hatred for life, out of navigating through complexities with women in the church and jealousy and insecurities. Flipping Faith Services was birthed from there, and it provides a place where women can come. We can study scripture, and I'm not really big on like studying scripture. I like to study our own self because we're a gospel. You know, sometimes your gospel is the only gospel somebody will ever read, will ever come to know God through, right? So I like to study us and see God, search my heart, reveal to me, so that you can begin to clean me up and prepare me. So, standing on that, they overcame by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimonies. When we bring that together, we can we can begin to shape our lives into who God has originally called us to be. I know I said a lot, child, but that is the basis for Flipping Faith Services.
It needed to be said.
That's the
It needed
basis.
to be said.
So what Flipping Face Services does, right? So I do one-on-one coaching. I have women who come to me who's navigating through complexities, and I like to say I'm a real church for real people. You know, our bodies is the temple. Our bodies is where the Holy Spirit dwells. So I like to say I'm a real church for real people. They come to me and they're able to be real. I get transparent before folks first so that you know ain't no shame, because shame is how the enemy holds us in bondage. So there's no shame. Let's have a real conversation. Tell me how you really feel, right? So that's one. And then we navigate through the complexities of our emotions, because reacting is not healthy, but responding is necessary. And so we navigate through the complexities of our emotions with one-on-one coaching. The other part is group workshops. And so I am an author of, it's called Readying Fire, but I've taken Readying Fire and broken it into three different segments. The first and most important one, near and dear to my heart, is Love the Effective Weapon. It's a 15-week series where we break down what is love. And I'm talking about agape. I'm talking about the way that God loves us. And the importance of that is that we cannot effectively love other people until we first accept God's love for us. And so, first is accepting God's love for us, learning how to love ourselves, and then creating the healthy boundaries when it comes to loving other people. Because a lot of times we skip those steps, and what we think is love is not, and we're destroying ourselves by just uh, pouring endlessly into other people because we love them. And it's not only destructive to ourselves, but it can be destructive to them as well. And so I teach, love is patience. It's all based on 1 Corinthians chapter 13, 4 through 8. What does patience looks like? What does patience look like when you are walking in alignment with God? How does God show patience towards us? Love is kind. What is kindness? It does not envy, it does not boast. All of those attributes we break down one attribute at a time, and reflect on our own experience with those attributes. And then we challenge ourselves and each other to be better in operating in that space of love. And so that's love, the effective weapon. And then I love to do conversations about what does worship mean? Because a lot of us think that worship is, hey, no, worship is how do you serve? How do you serve? And what is fasting? And fasting, a lot of people like to do the Daniel fast, but Daniel fast was specific to Daniel. That is what God called forth from Daniel. It even says in the scripture, choice food. That was his choice food. So when it comes to fasting, why are we fasting? Today we use fasting as a way to try to manipulate God and to giving us what we want. When fasting is about submitting yourself and humbling yourself in a specific manner so that we're ready to receive what God is going to give. And so just breaking down just the stereotypical theology that we have connected to God, and putting our heart posture in a way to where we can receive a fresh revelation. What is God saying today? What is he speaking? What is his mandate? How is he calling forth from us? Because the same God that was alive and active in them 66 books, he's still alive and active today. Look,
Girl,
I be going on,
that was
but
all right with me. You better preach that sermon, girl.
I love it. When it comes to faith, that is my weak spot. That's my passion. When it comes to faith, when it comes to ensuring that people know who they are, that matters so much, because it that's how we show up in the world. When we know who we are, it changes how we show up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now you see how all of that comes together with your counseling service as well as Cave. You see how that intertwines. And then there was another event that you guys did. Oh my God. What was it called? You remember we had the little chart? We did the
The
chart.
chart. Oh, she glows. I gotta actually, we have a vision writing workshop tonight. We have a vision writing experience tonight. We actually just partnered with the Shalom Project in North Carolina and their Flourish Ministry. And so we have we have a vision writing experience tonight with those ladies soon at 7 o'clock. At 7 o'clock tonight. Girl. So let me just,
Listen, you gotta
you
talk
did.
about
You
that too.
came.
Cause
You
that
you came. You came to
oh
an
my goodness.
experience.
But
First
you
of all,
gotta
how was it for
tell the
you? How
people
was the
that missed it.
experience for you?
It was a beautiful experience. I'm waiting for the next one. Like there was something else you had, but I missed it. But you gotta have something else again because that was an amazing experience.
Yes, I do plan to do some things. I'm just not getting grounded here, y'all. And I promise God is so faithful. First of all, a prophet is not respected in his hometown, could never have been so true. I don't think that I would have been able to do all the things that I do here in my hometown. And I got love and support in my hometown. Just people, they don't take it as serious coming from somebody like me with the background and the reputation that I have. Like, that it ain't, it ain't that, this ain't that, and that ain't this, right? But so when I come here and I'm experiencing people, I am being presented with opportunities to do so much, and it's happening so fast that I'm like trying to hold on, like, trying to hold on and not fall over from all the opportunities that are coming my way. I just want to be a great steward to the people that God has entrusted me with, the resources, just really be a good steward of my time, of the knowledge, the wisdom that God has bestowed on me. But so she glows. That's interesting how that came together. Let me just say that Flipping Faith Services also create programs. So all the programs that run through Cave, I created literally these programs from a space of looking at what is missing, what is lacking, and how can we begin to take the issues that we are seeing in communities and create programs that are impactful to produce change, transformation. And so Flipping Faith Services definitely create programs, love to connect with nonprofits and businesses and organizations that desire to have an impact in the community to see how we can create something that will be impactful for the community. So Flipping Faith Services also do that. With that being said, we tend to show up more for other people than we do ourselves, right? And part of my faith is when God say do something, I do it. I get up, I walk away from this, give up the car, give up the houses, move from one area to another, not knowing all of those things. But when God spoke to me about really investing in Flipping Faith Services, I worked it, but not to the capacity, only to the capacity of my belief. And so it wasn't, I didn't fully work it. And God came to me and he said, you don't work it because you don't believe. I had a little bit of faith that got me started, but I didn't have enough faith to carry it. So what God tends to do is bring people in your life that see your vision sometimes better than you can see your vision for yourself. And so I met Dr. LaKoya and Jade Avery on Clubhouse in April of 2024. And so we were in this room where I guess the girl was our leader. We didn't know it was ineffective leadership if she was our leader because we was really confused what was happening. And so we said, we're going to leave this room, but I believe that us three are connected. And so we had some conversations, just Jade and LaKoya and myself. And LaKoya started sharing about this framework, and it's a She Glows vision framework. It is, having a godly vision, knowing how to leverage your gift, skills, and talents, have an orchestrated exit strategy, walking by faith daily, and seeking wise counsel. And so when she's sharing this vision, I was like, yo, I see myself. I really saw Flipping Faith Services in that vision. And so she wasn't really actively really using it because she has Grace Culture, where she does coaching for middle management and those who are trying to navigate through the toxic culture of middle management and transitioning into a different phase and area of their life. So she wasn't really working the She Glows thing. So I was like, yo, this is a thing. This is really a thing. So we began, I kept pushing and pushing and pushing, and we all came together and we pulled She Glows out of her Grace Culture framework and created it as a community in itself. So, um, what we started doing was doing vision writing workshops, vision writing experiences where we bring women together to write a vision for themselves. And in the way that it's done is really strategically created, where we are taking where you currently are and helping you along a journey to come to an expected end. When I say that joy that is set before you, right? That joy that is set before you
Yeah.
keeps you moving in that direction. So
Yeah.
yeah, she glows is it's a thing. And it was exactly what I needed because
And
it got me back working Flipping Faith Services to provide these programs. So I only worked Flipping Faith up to the level of my faith, but God didn't leave it there. He began to water that thing. He
mhm.
began to shine some light on that thing. And then somebody was able to see it and say, this is valuable. I want to utilize this in my program, right? And so then what it called me to do, it says, okay, because we tend to support people more than we support ourselves. But so I have to show up for She Glows. That means Flipping Faith have to show up for She Glows. And it caused me to put more time, energy, and effort into Flipping Faith Services so that I can provide quality services for the She Glows community.
And you doing
I
it.
forgot you was there, Tori.
Yes.
Yes.
It
Yes.
was amazing. It was amazing. Oh my God, it was so good.
We do
Oh my
plan to do
goodness.
more in
Because
person
I'm
things.
yes, I love the in person, the fellowship. Because like I connected with some people there at that event. There's people
Yes.
that I connected with at that event. It was just so amazing. Oh my God. Every
Yes.
time we are in these spaces, because we've also been in other spaces, but every time we're in these spaces, there's so much genuine love and just we rooting for each other. And that's not always the case. Like when I was growing up, it used to be like, you know how it is. But when we get
Yes.
together, it's all love and it's
Yes.
all fellowship and that's all faith based. It was just amazing.
Yes.
So you
And the
definitely got to
event
do
where
that
I met
again.
you, the place I met was the Good Grief. That's where I originally
Yes,
met you at Good Grief,
yes,
Rebecca's event. Yes.
yes, yes.
And it
Rebecca got
is.
to do another one of those too. That was amazing too.
I just had a conversation with her about it. I said, "Come on, when this next Good Grief event, because it was so good." And I love spaces like that where women are just really vulnerable and transparent, and it builds relationship. Because women have a bad reputation when it comes to other women. There's always this like cattiness or competition, but when we collaborate, the power, the impact that we have not only on the lives of each other but in the impact that we have in the communities that we all serve. There was some powerhouses in that Good Grief event. I met a lot of women at the event who are doing things, who have a heart to serve. And when we just pour in each other and we search our hearts together and we overcome by the word of our testimonies that is being shared, it strengthens us to go out into the communities and do what we do all the more greater. So, yes.
Yeah, we definitely got to have some more events, and I definitely got to have you back because with my podcast, I fell off a little bit, but you just sparked the fire in me to just keep going. Cause I'll start and then I'll stop. I'll start and I'll stop. So you just encourage me to just keep going. Even if sometimes I
Yes.
come on by myself just to keep going. You don't know how much you just done gave me life.
Yes. And it's
Your
easier
energy.
when you start seeing people doing stuff in the community, say, "Hey, come on, let me talk," because we show up for other people more than we show up for ourselves. So if you got to do the podcast, you're just like, "Nah, I'll do it. I only got this many viewers. I only got this many." Like, it doesn't keep us motivated. But when you are doing this to support somebody else, you're like, "Oh, you got this happening. Come on the show. I want to talk to you about what you got going on." Get in other people's business. Get in their business. When you get in their business and you're showing up for them, it makes you to show up for yourself.
Mm, listen, I received all of that. I needed that. I needed that. I needed that. Now, what else
Yeah.
before we leave? Because I don't want to take. Because I don't know if this toning are coming or what. I didn't want to take up too much of your Sunday. But what are your final thoughts on touching on Cave, your visit, your counseling services, and also She Goes? What are your final words? Just touching on everything. And how does it? Let me ask you this. Okay, so and I know, are you able to hear me? Okay, because I know there's a delay. My internet
I
was
can hear
internet
you.
today. But what is? Let me ask you this. So what is your advice to women, teen girls that may be out there listening? You know how we were talking about how sometimes when you're around other women, it can be catty. What is your advice to them? Because that may be the reason why some women or some females don't show up to certain events because they think it's gonna be catty, but it's never like that. The events that we've actually been to, it's never like that. It's always love. What would you say to those that may be discouraged or not wanting to come to the motivating them to come out to these events? And it's all about networking as well, because like I said, we've met some amazing people. And I remember the event, the She Glows event, I almost didn't make it because you remember it was storming that day.
It was
And I was
storming. It
like,
started storming right before the
yeah,
event.
it was right. I said, you know what? Am I going? But I made it anyway. And thank God I did. That was it. Listen, whoever showed up to that event, we were supposed to be there because it was such
Yes.
a great event. And matter of fact, it was so good. I left my umbrella. And you remember I had to come
You
back to get
did.
my
You
umbrella.
did. Yes, you did. You
So what
did.
advice, what would you say? What would you say to encourage women to come out to these events to, get to know each other? Because it ain't all catty. We all getting older now. Most of us ain't even with all of that, with all the drama
Yeah.
and the nonsense. Or what would you say
So
to them to kind of encourage them to come out to these type of events?
yeah. So one of the things is there's two major things. What circles are you in? Because there are people our age who are still catty. There are certain people who live a certain kind of life. So it depends on what spaces you're going in, and you want to make sure that you know who you are and that you're confident. Because as you start getting out and going into events, you are going to encounter some situations and circumstances where women are not for you, and you have to not allow that to tear down. If I allow the situations that I have been in to discourage me from continuing to go into events or working with women, I would not be who I am today. Like, seriously, I've been hurt really bad by some women who I thought were ride or dies. I have been hurt by some women, I'm talking about very catty, by women who I thought we were ministry partners and buddies. I have church women. Baby, that I never thought that I would partner with women again. The way that I work with Rebecca, the way that I work with Lakoya and Jay, and you would not think, and some of the other women who I am actively working with, you would never think that I would be able to work with these women in the way that I do, coming from the things that I have experienced. I've experienced some horrible things, putting together business plans and operating conferences and right, baby, doing some things, and then that person comes around and um attacks me, or just used me up and then moved on about their business. But God has always, when I've navigated through situations like that, God pulled me back from them situations and circumstances. And you have to allow yourself to heal. Because what happens then is that when you are hurt by other women and you do not heal, you then become the one that's hurting other women. Because it's not from a place of you wanting to be ugly, it's a place of you wanting to protect yourself. And so now you are causing the wounds. So the first thing is allowing yourself to heal from spaces that you have been in that has caused you harm. And so pulling back and taking a step back, it is nothing wrong with it. It's actually absolutely necessary for you to be able to heal, be able to identify who you are in and outside of those circles, so that you can get back in continuing to be yourself and who God has called you to be. Don't give up. Take a break, but don't give up. Analyze the spaces that you want to be in. What are you trying to do with your life? What is your goal? What is your end result? You want to be around women who have a place to go. They are going somewhere. So they don't have the time to sit and pick apart women. They are looking for women that can help them get to where they are going. And so you want to be really intentional and strategic about the rooms that you're going into and who you are collaborating with. Who are your friends? Who is your circle? Because that matters. And so when we come into these events, a lot of times everybody got something going on with their lives. They're analyzing a room not to tear apart somebody, but to say, who can I work with? Those are the spaces that you want to be in, and get in there. And if you find yourself in a space that you see is not working for you, it's okay to leave. Silently. I get up. See you, bye. It ain't for me. And knowing who's hosting these spaces too, because the atmosphere has to be set. When I went to I think you was there too. We went to Monet event. Was you healing over dinner? Did you go to healing over dinner?
Yes, yes, yes.
Monet,
Healing
like,
over dinner. Oh my God.
baby, the
Healing
atmosphere
over
was
dinner was
set.
everything too.
It was everything. You have to know who is hosting
Yes.
these events, because the people that are hosting the events is going to set a tone. And the tone that they set is going to shift whatever is happening in that atmosphere. You couldn't go to Healing Over Dinner and be looking at somebody's side. That wasn't in the atmosphere. That just was not the energy in a
No.
room. It could not happen. You looked at women and you admired them. You looked at women and saw their beauty and their strength. Not everybody even felt like they were beautiful beautiful or strong, but you was able to see it, and we were pouring into them and letting them know exactly what we see, how we see them. So you got to know who's hosting this event, because the person that's hosting the event is going to tell you everything. What type of atmosphere is it going to be? So even if it's a negative person in the room, that negativity won't be able to stand because the atmosphere have been set. Right. And then even when the people that come in the room, most of them gonna be full of positivity, that negativity gonna have that energy gonna have to shift. Everybody is gonna love on everybody. And so if there was something in the atmosphere, you wouldn't be able to tell it. You wouldn't be able to see it. When we went to Good Grief, the Good Grief event, the atmosphere was set. The atmosphere, and we share tough things. We share hard things at Healing Over Dinner too. I think every space I've been into, we share hard things, but it feels
Yes.
so light. It feels so light. It feels so light. Glory to God. So, who is hosting this space is going to dictate the energy of that space. And so, just make sure that you're aligning yourself with people who are going somewhere, because people who don't have a direction, you find yourself in all kind of mess. So, yeah, the company you keep is key.
That was good, Denise. That was good. That was good. Because I'm telling you, all these spaces, but Good Grief, Healing Over Dinner, and even when we did the vision board, all of those spaces were good. But Healing Over Dinner, oh my God. Woo! About that, when you started talking about healing over dinner, I was about to cry again. Because when I tell you that space was so powerful, oh my God.
Healing over dinner was everything. Healing over dinner was
It
everything.
was.
Yes, ma'am.
You see Rebecca comments? She said, come on, Pastor
I
Stewart.
don't see none of the oh, come on back. Oh. I said, "Oh, girl, yeah, listen, this gets me excited. Oh, my husband will love that, Pastor Stewart. Everybody be like flipping. I'm trying to get accustomed to that Stewart thing, you know. It's been a year. I should be settled in already. He listening from the side room. Rebecca, he
Listen,
gonna love you for
you
that. Come
definitely
on, Pastor Stewart.
listen. I put that back up there. Come on, Pastor Stewart.
My husband gonna love that,
Listen, you
y'all.
have definitely, yeah, you definitely got to come back because just your energy. Oh my God, you just motivated me. And what
Oh,
are some of
thank you.
your final thoughts that you would like to share with any? Like I said, you touch on cave, whatever you want to, whatever your final thoughts can be. Because like I said, I won't take up all your Sunday, but and then I'm going to also re-air this as well because this was good to me.
Oh Lord, thank you, thank you. So some final thoughts is the thing that's happening right now, the big happening in my life, in your life, in the life of our community. Because when we touch our community, everybody's life should shift, should change for the better. So just being connected to Cave, get in where you can. You may not have $30 to give, and that's okay. Come out and show support. Sign up to volunteer. Go to www.enterthecave.org and come on aboard. Enter our 100 link campaign. Again, the 100 link campaign is just donating $30. You can make that a reoccurring $30 because we're doing it consistently, or you can make that one-time payment to support us for the launch. And then if you can't do that, sign up to donate some of your time or your talents. If you can't give the treasure, your time and your talent, we could utilize that as well. This is going to be huge. It's going to be a huge launch. It's going to be a huge impact for our community. Yes, we are starting in North Florence, and we're going to maintain ourselves in North Florence for now, just to build the relationships with the community, set up some foundational work there and the people in the community. But then we're on the move, y'all. We're on the move. And one of the most important things to Cave is that we're looking at the city. City, what are you doing? What are you doing? Because they're focused on the infrastructure. So we want to be focused on how we pour into the community. So where they go, we will be going. We gonna show up. And right now it's Florence. So the 100 link campaign, I will drop Rebecca. Rebecca is on. Rebecca, drop the link in the comments to the 100 link campaign, where people could just click it and donate $30 to support our launch. Make it a reoccurring payment to continue to support the efforts that we are doing with our Plate and Play initiative.
That is so good. And I'm gonna have you back on before you like sometimes next month or early May. Cause we definitely got to talk about this again. That is so dope. Oh,
Yes.
listen, this has been an amazing podcast. Like I said, I gotta re-air this tonight. I'm gonna re-air this and I'll send you the information. But I thank everybody for watching. I hope you tuned in. I hope you share. And even if you missed the beginning, you can go and watch the replay. And also, I'm actually going to re-air this probably about 8:30 or so. But I'll put a post out there to let you guys know when I'm going to re-air it. But this was good. This was really good. So I'm definitely going to have Denise back on the podcast. Denise, just her energy ever since I've met her, her energy has been so full of life, so bubbly. Like I can't even picture her being hood. She said she was about that life. I can't
Yes.
even picture her being
Baby.
about that life. Cause she truly loves God. So I can't even picture her about being about that life. But I'm gonna take her word for it.
You know, Peter was out there cutting
I'm gonna
off
take
ears
your word
too.
for it.
Peter was out there. Come on. Peter was out there. Yeah. Young Peter.
Well, this has
Yes.
been a great podcast. And like I said, I thank you guys for watching. If you missed the beginning, make sure you watch the replay. And I will also be re-airing it. And I will definitely have Denise back on the podcast. And like I say at the end of each podcast, whatever you go through in this thing called life, you may bend, but don't you dare break. And always remember to keep the faith. We out. You guys have an amazing remainder of your Sunday and having a blessed and amazing week ahead. Peace out, y'all. And I'll be back soon. I can't tell you when, but I podcast now when I'm led to. I don't just get on the microphone and just be talking these days. I get on the podcast with purpose. And when I have something to talk about, but I'm just not gonna get so I can't tell you when I'm coming, but I'll be back soon. You guys have a blessed evening. Talk to you soon. And Denise, hang on. Once we end the live, I'm gonna holler at you backstage. Okay. Peace out,
Yes,
y'all.
ma'am.